Hello, what's going on everyone? And in this video, we're going to take a look at a different topic, and that's just basically going to be that of the tuples in Python. And what I want to do right now, I want to create a new file, and let's go ahead and call that tuples. So this is going to be tuples, okay, .py right there, and we'll have that opened up. So you see that we'll have a tuples.py right there. And before we actually go ahead and write in the code, we want to define what tuples are. So when we talk about tuples, we are talking about elements that are actually ordered. Okay, so they are actually ordered a collection of elements that are immutable. And what I mean by immutable is that they cannot actually be changed after you create them. You can modify them after you create them. Okay, so they remain constant. And I want to give an example of that right now. So if I create a variable, I'm going to just basically call it something like coordinates like that, and we can actually go ahead and set it to be equal to, let's say, I want to set two coordinates right now. So let's say that x is actually going to carry this, and we're going to just set the second value to that of the 20. Okay, so this is just in the coordinates of x and y. Okay, that's just basically what I'm trying to get at with that. So if we have that in our stuff right here, for instance, we're going to just go through trying to access it. First of all, let's say you want to access the first element right there, or the first coordinate. How do you actually do that? Okay, so I want to put a comment and just say accessing tuples. Okay, so just like other ones, this thing is also zero based. Okay, so this is zero and this is in position one. Okay, so if you want to access them, you are also going to be making use of the this type of we are also going to be using this counting method to be able to do that. Okay, so if you want to access the first one, I'm going to like try to base your accessing based on a zero index. Okay, and this one is actually one. So to do that is very, very simple. Let's get down right here and then try to access that. So if I do print, and then let's say within this place where I have print right now, if we want to base, first of all, mention the variable name, which is coordinates, and if we grab onto that, we can actually throw in our square brackets right here, and then we'll say something like 0. So that means that we're basically going to get 10, which is actually coming from the x-axis right there. Okay, so if I save the changes and then I right click on that, and we'll go ahead and then run tuples, you see that we basically get 10 right here. Okay, you can also alternatively try to print out everything that is in that coordinate. So for instance, we'll do print right here, and we go ahead and then bring in the variable which is actually coordinates. Okay, we'll save that. Let me just comment this particular line out first of all and save the changes. Then if I click on run tuple right here, you see that we get all of the data in there. Okay, so this particular line down here, this is just basically how you can actually access a single element right there. If you want to access the second one, you can just change you remove this 0 from here and then just add the 1 right there. So I want to comment this one out first of all, save the changes, and then let's click on run. You see that we get 20 right there. Okay, so those are just basically how to access them. All right, so there is something that is actually also called unpacking the tuples. Okay, I want to comment this line out first of all, and to unpack this, we are basically trying to like reassign these values to their corresponding coordinates. Okay, so if I want to do that right now, I want to put a comment here and just say something like unpacking tuples like that. And the way that this is actually done is really very simple. We can set a variable right here. I'm going to just do x right this and then add a comma and then say y. Okay, like that. And we can basically just go ahead and set that to the variable object, which is actually called a coordinates. So let's do coordinates like that, and we'll have that right now. So this is what we'll call unpacking. For instance, if you want to access the value of this right now, because from the way that it is right now, it now means that this value x right now owns this particular value, which is 10, and then y from here now owns this particular value. And if we want us to prove that, it's really very simple. If we get down here, we can just do something like print like that, and within the print right now, if I do something like x, I want to put this one into quotes like this. Okay, and then I want to add this, and then I want to add a comma right here, and then do something like x, which is the variable right here. You're going to notice something right now. If I save the changes right now, you're going to see that x, let me just even add something like equality sign right here, that x is actually equal to 10. Okay, so if I right click on this and then select run tuples, you see that we'll now have x to be equal to that of the 10. So the same thing applies to the next one. So if I copy this right now and then try to paste that on the next line, and then I change this to y, guys. And then for the value right here, it's actually going to be changed to y. Let's save the changes, and then if we run this right now, you notice that we'll have x is actually equal to 10, and then y is actually equal to 10. You see how we actually unpacked the coordinates right there, or the tuples. Okay, so that's really very cool, guys, and I hope that you guys kind of get that. So tuples are really very simple. Okay, so we actually mentioned that the values are actually immutable. All right, so just to prove that tuples are highly immutable. Okay, remember I said that in the definition that tuples are highly immutable. That means that you cannot actually change them after you create them. Okay, like we have two tuples right here. If you try to add like one more tuple right here, by way of modification, it's actually not going to work. So for instance, if you want to test that, if we get down here, if we do something like, let's say this is going to be coordinates, and within this coordinate, let's say that we want to change, let's say we want to change the one that is in position 1, and we want to change the value to something like, let's say this is actually going to be something like 40, and we'll save the changes right now, and we'll try to run this code. We're going to see that first of all, I want to comment these two lines out, or these three lines right there. Okay, so I want to comment this out, and also comment this particular one out. But then what I basically want to do is to just print out the coordinates. Okay, so I want to copy this, paste that right there, and I want to take this away. Okay, so I basically want to print out these coordinates right here. Okay, if I save the changes and then click on run, you see that we'll get an error. Okay, it says coordinate right here. That's an error. So this is a type error, and it says that tuple object does not support item assignment. Okay, so it does not actually kind of allow that. Okay, but if we like comment this out right now and then save the changes, you see that if we run it, it prints the result just fine. Okay, so it does not really allow that type of thing. Okay, so it does not actually allow us to modify what is originally here, and you cannot actually use something like a append or whatever method you want to use on that to be able to create that. Even if you use append, it's still not going to actually work. Okay, so that's just what it means by saying that tuples are really immutable. Okay, that means that they cannot actually be changed. And I think that I just it for the tuples. Okay, and I believe that you guys really kind of capture what that is. And in the next one, we're basically going to take a look at sets. Okay, so bye bye for now, and then I'll see you in the next one.